Good morning everybody and welcome to the Gallant Views Daily News Update for Wednesday the 18th of January 2023. My name's Colin and I'll be giving you a recap of all the chat from the papers, social media and general news going on with Rangers. Obviously tonight we're set to play against Kilmarnock away in the league, and this seen the usual pre-match press conference from Michael Beale yesterday, so I'll just recap a few points for that on Michael Beale's thoughts on the game. So Michael Beale said, "I'm expecting a really tough test. I know Derek well, he is a good guy, and the Aberdeen battles between our teams were really tough games. He's had a good job at Kilmarnock, obviously getting them back up, and they have got a lot of familiar faces in the squad who have good experience in this league. They have lost 1 in 9 at home, and they have beaten every team that we've beaten since we came back in, so game on. It should be a good game. We need to go for 3 points, and I'm sure they are feeling the same after what was a really good performance at Hampden at the weekend. I'm sure, although they will be disappointed, that will give them a lot of confidence for the remainder of the season. For us, playing 120 minutes, maybe we naturally rotate the squad. We had some key players that came in at the weekend and did well, that are probably looking at me thinking, come on, when is my chance to show I can have a big impact in the season? It's important that I choose the moments. If that isn't tomorrow night, then it certainly will be on Saturday evening." So Beale kind of going on more about building consistency when he was asked about that. He continued on to say, "In the 6 or 7 games since I've come back, I've tried to settle things down and pick pretty much a core of 6 or 7 players in every game to give us that consistency. It is more about how we deal with certain moments and what we need from certain players in the team at different times. Connor Golson missed large parts, but him and Ben Davies' partnership is now bearing fruit. John Lundstrom has probably been one of the mainstay of the leadership group in the team this year, along with James Tavernier. So the more we keep those players together, I think that will bring the glue between my ideas and how we need to behave on the pitch at certain times." So interesting to hear a bit about, some players potentially taking their chance on Saturday or ready to take their chance in the next 2 games, and also maybe a wee bit of a teaser there that who he's seen as his core, his mainstays, as he put it, the likes of Lundstrom, Tavernier, Golson. And I think Lundstrom and Tavernier are quite interesting points because for the most part they really struggled to hit form even after Michael Beale coming in, so it's interesting to see him name those two out. He was asked about an injury update, and he went on to give an update on a few players. First of all, on Kemar Roof, saying he won't be available for this game and probably this weekend as well. It is a real sore one. He's been away and he has had the scan, and he's going to see somebody else to get a second opinion. It is a huge disappointment for him, for the fans and for his teammates as well, because he's not just such a good player on the pitch, he's very important around the building. He's one of the more senior players and one of the more vocal ones. And just to echo that, I think however frustrated we are as fans, it'll be nowhere near as bad as what it is for Kemar Roof. He's a professional footballer. He wants to be on the pitch, and it's very easy for us as fans to just look at how it impacts Rangers. But on a personal level, it is a real shame that he cannot catch a break. Michael Beale also went on to say James Sands will come back into the squad, and then Antonio Cholak hopefully returning for the weekend. We don't want to push his return on the artificial pitch. Tom Lawrence had a slight setback. It's a slow process, and we will assess as we go on how he feels. It's a disappointment for Tom, but it's the reality of his type of injury." Beale kind of rounded off talking about Kilmarnock by going on to say, "Kilmarnock's home form of late is very good. We have no excuses and we need to go there and play. We have had a lack of consistency in the squad this season. Connor Golson and Ben Davies getting a run together is great and can see us improving. Borna Barisic has been essential to giving us balance across the pitch. We switched off as a team in a moment at the weekend. We worked hard afterwards and won the game." Switching off for a moment is an understatement, if anything, Michael. That was a terrible goal to lose, but no, really, in terms of the the pre-match analysis, I suppose, for Michael Beale. Nothing too much that you wouldn't expect, maybe, other than just interesting to hear his thoughts on who he sees as the lead players, and then obviously that injury update. James Sands, I know we need as many players back and available as possible. Good to see him coming back in. Obviously, hopefully we see Cholak sooner rather than later, and we just need to wait and see how we get on with Lawrence and Kemar Roof. So at the press conference, there was a few questions around the transfer speculation, and he was asked first of all what his thoughts were on Morgan Whittaker. So Michael Beale went on to say, Whittaker is a player we know and like, but there's no update on that. I think he's a good player. We are looking at all areas. We want to bring more goals into the club. I'm really pleased with how things are moving. We are going in the right direction. I don't want any short-term gaps. We want players who can make a big impact moving forwards into 2023 and 2024 onwards. It's important any decisions we make are the right ones. I know the recruitment strategy at this club, and it's something that I believe in. As a coach, I like to recruit people for specific roles and give them real clarity on the role they will play and the areas they can improve on. So he was also asked about Tom Davies. On Tom Davies, there's no interest from us in Tom Davies. I spoke about him when asked, but he won't be a Rangers player. This is what we've said in the pod a couple of times, where Michael Beale just loves talking about football and the game in general, and you don't get really one-word answers from him. So obviously we've all looked into the possibility of signing Davies very heavily, just because how well Michael Beale articulated his like and his connection to the player. But he's saying he was asked about when he spoke about it, and that is something that is maybe going to trip us up when he elaborates on answers, just because he really loves talking about the game and different players. But I think he's put that fire out. Last of all, asking about Todd Cantwell and any other potential signings coming in, he's been a bit vague, and he's just said, I'm really pleased with the way things are moving. No news doesn't mean bad news. And he did go on to say that he sees us having a 25% turnover of the squad over the next 2 to 3 windows, which is, it doesn't sound like a quarter of the players, but if you look at the size of our squad, there's maybe about 26 first team players in and around the first team. That's that's at least 6 or 7 that are going to go out and come in. So that is quite an overhaul. We're seeing the overall transition of maybe 14 players in and out over 2 or 3 windows, which is good to hear, because I think it's much needed. So what does that tell us about the potential signings? So it's a definite no for Tom Davies by the looks of it. Todd Cantwell, the rumours circulating follow on social media is that the hold up is the clubs and the player trying to agree whether it'll be a pre-contract agreement where Cantwell joins in the summer, or if he joins just now in January for a fee. And I think that's believed to be the hold up, even despite the PSV interest. I don't speak to anybody in the know, so I'm just really recapping what the chat is on follow, and none of the news outlets have really spoke about what's delaying that. On Morgan Whittaker, that does look to be a bit more further forward, and there's a lot of news outlets like the Football Insider, some of the online pages down south reporting that the fee will be in the region of £1.5 to £2 million. This seems to be moving a lot quicker than the Cantwell rumour from when we first heard it. It was only really yesterday or Sunday night we began hearing the whispers of it, and now we're talking about a potential fee. So it looks as if it is much more promising, and obviously Michael Beale's comments really, I think, cement him a bit more. So hopefully we see him in this week. Last bit of news on the transfer front. The Daily Record and some other nonsense papers were reporting that PSV and Lille are now chasing Rangers transfer target Noah Siddiqui, an 18-year-old right back currently playing for Anderlecht. I'll be honest, I've not heard of this player, I've not heard of this rumour. I don't think there's too much in this. An 18-year-old right back, he's got regular first team experience for Anderlecht. I'd be very surprised if there was anything in this, because looking at what the priorities are, I don't think right back, especially with Adam Devine showing that he's an able deputy for James Tavernier, I don't see that being a priority when we look at, we need to get some more creativity middle to front. We need a number 8. We need a box to box midfielder as well, and we need a goalkeeper. So I'd be very surprised if right back was a target in this window. But I have been wrong before, and I'll be wrong again. So watch this space. In other news, the ticket prices for the Viaplay League Cup final. The Viaplay League Cup final against Celtic on the 26th of February. The ticket prices have been announced, and a moderate increase, I think, is maybe putting it mildly. So for Rangers fans, it'll be £49 for adults sitting in the South Stand lower section, section O. £44 if you're sitting in the South Stand lower section P or upper section Q. The North Stand section C will be £44. West Stand section A and B will be £39 for adults. And there is different concession prices. The highest concession price being £22 for concessions in under 16s. And there is accessible seating in the South Stand and the North Stand for £22 for adults and £6 for under 16s and over 65s for the accessible seating. Potentially £50 for a cup final game. I'm not going to go into it too much in the news update, but I'm sure we all feel that prices are just getting higher and higher, and it's, when we look at the semi-final and the issues with VAR and the pitch and probably the overall product we have in Scottish football, it's a bit of a farce that you can pay £50 for a substandard product, I suppose. But there's that old anecdote where if you don't want it, don't pay for it, and there will be somebody who will pay for it. It's as long as people keep on paying these prices, and I don't want to sound like a hypocrite, I'm one of those people, they're going to continue to charge this. But it would have been very interesting to see what the price would have been if the semi-finals went the other way and one of Rangers or Celtic were playing Aberdeen or Kilmarnock, or Aberdeen were playing Kilmarnock. I don't think we would have seen £49 per ticket for adults, but we'll never know. I suppose it's maybe one to watch for next time there's an Old Firm final. Last bit of news for today: Rangers B absolutely trounced Partick Thistle away in the Glasgow Cup last night, 5-1 at Firhill. A really good performance by all means from the young Bears, and 5 different goal scorers. So Tony Weston, Zach Lovelace, Charlie Lindsay, Robbie Ewart and James Graham all grabbing a goal apiece. I spoke on Monday's update about being really promising that Zach Lovelace is back from injury. It's so great to see him getting a goal. Speaking after the game, B-team boss David McCallum said, "I thought it was a strong performance. It's taken Tony's special goal to get us on our way, but we controlled the game and created a lot of opportunities. Zach's goal is a lovely goal that Johnny Ufeko sets into his path. Combination play allows Charlie in for his. Then the second half, the substitutes made a difference with Robbie getting his goal and James Graham coming off the side of the box and passing it into the corner. Good variation and a good spread of the goals as well. So really promising to see the B team still going from strength to strength after a really good performance at home to Dalbeattie Star on Saturday as well, seeing them top of the league. So top of the league through the next round in the Glasgow Cup, and one may it continue. So that'll be all from me for today's news update. I'll be back tomorrow morning with any news off the back of tonight, and obviously Rangers result against Kilmarnock. Hopefully I'm speaking to you about a win tomorrow morning. And at 8:30 on Thursday night, we'll be live on YouTube, Facebook and Twitter, doing a live stream as always for our weekly pod. After the weekly pods, after the live stream's finished, it'll be available on Apple, Spotify and wherever else you get your podcast, for your listening pleasure to set you up for the weekend. So happy hump day everybody, thanks for listening, I'll speak to you again tomorrow.